Hey everyone, this is Mango TFT. I know this channel is centered around double up, and it still probably will be, but the beginning of the set I always go for a bit of a solo rank climb. I did peak rank 200 at the end of day 1. This is the first game of day 2. I just happened to record, and I thought this was a really cool game to show. The comp I will be playing is Strat Amp, which is by far one of the strongest boards in the game right now. If you actually hit the board, requires a lot of resources. It is a fast 8, fast 9, genuinely a fast 9 comp. You go fast 8 to try to hit and stabilize. Rank 1 Brosif was 60% win rate, one-tricking this comp yesterday. It was insane. He plays it almost exclusively out of Lost Streak, even a complete open fort. If there's Cypher players, he will just completely open, and they generally can't sell their Cypher units. So he'll full Lost Streak till about 4-1 and just have enough resources to go all in on 8 and try to hit a stable on up board to then propel to 9. But I do think you can kind of get there with any comp, or with any way you get there. You know, the comp just needs resources, and I thought this was a pretty unique way to play it. This is just general opener stuff. You know, I'm holding this Darius Shaco and then get dropped these items, hold, you know, Seraphine pair instead. Not instead, but as well. And then allow Silas in my shop. It's just an easy anima opener game, playing around this tier. I do apologize, this is kind of VOD review style, and there's this thing at the bottom. I did edit it and kind of talk over it, but I don't think that's good because there's just too many points that I kind of want to explain, and then too many points that I kind of want to fast forward, right? So it's very hard to edit. For the sake of getting the most information to you guys as quick as possible, I thought this format would be best. So yeah, general opener stuff, I'm just, you know, holding everything I can, holding pairs, playing around what items I get. Here I just have full anima opener with Shojin Slam. That's awesome. I will pause here. So these 3 augments, Buried Treasure is good. It's decent tempo. I don't necessarily love it here because I just have a great Shojin Slam. You could play it and just play around anima because it does use both AD and AP really well. Movable object. Generic good combat. I don't really want it here. I kind of want more direction than just general combat. And then investment strategy, you generally would play a reroll, and I don't really have a great reroll spot. Maybe Seraphine, but I'm not too familiar with that line. So I do reroll some of these and then end up rerolling into Birthday Present on the left. So I just take it. Have good anima opener. Just going to pump a level here, see what my upgraded 1 cost is. It is a Cog Mao. I don't really have a great spot to play around this Cog, to be honest, and I have Shojin Slam, so this is truly what I think is just the better board and would kill more units. Generally speaking, with Birthday Present, the most fundamental way to play it is just full win streak if you can. I do scout the lobby. There's some other high tempo augments. There is another Birthday Present player. I don't really think in this case I'm going to be able to full win streak. I'm just trying to kill some units and end up kind of managing econ. If you are win streaking, you really can just pump levels and completely play to keep the win streak and just out tempo and outpace the entire lobby. But in this case, I don't think that's the best way to play my exact spot. I don't have enough upgraded units. I kind of have this anima opener, which is strong, but there's just a lot of strong people in this lobby. Like this, here's a Birthday Present guy. He has, you know, more upgrades than me, etc. This shot doesn't really improve my board at all. You could go level 5 here. You know, if you were really strong, let's say I had upgraded Silas and upgraded Zyra, I would just pump a level and play the upgraded unit I get. But I scout here and I realize, you know, I probably just can't. And that's kind of what I do. So this early game, and I'll go ahead and scrub through a little bit. And I'm mostly just spending my time scouting here to see how I should play this early game. Even though I'm on a 2 streak, I do genuinely think it would be a mistake to continue to try to play for win streak. So I kind of just accept that I'm not going to be able to. And also right there was a small mistake. Vigar would be better than Zyra, but that's okay. Ideally, I'm looking for a Poppy with this Vigar, and then I could maybe go 5 and play around that. But again, no upgrades. I had the Silas pair. I didn't upgrade the Vayne or anything, so I'm just gonna sit. I think here, if you spend your gold, level, and lose, you're in a really bad spot. There's too many players in my pool that I just don't beat. So just continue to fast forward a little bit here and see. I do lose to this Dynamo Strat emblem. Wandering Trainer, which is completely fine. First carousel, I am last pick, which is tough. I have Open Cloak and Shojin Slam, really just looking for something that can complete a frontline item if I need to. But again, I'm not really playing for streaks, so it's not the end of the world if I don't get anything great. I am last pick. I do out sprint the guy and snag the cloak. Don't really love slamming Declaw here. Again, I just lost last round. I don't think it makes a ton of sense. Declaw, was nerfed a set or two ago as well and kind of adjusted, so it's not this 1v9 tank item. Don't have an upgraded tank. I am going to level here because it is cheap. I do get this Zyra, and again, it's not like I don't have this great board. I don't have upgraded frontline, so here I'm debating if this Shyvana is ever better than Zyra because it would give me Bastion. I'm not sure. I think I'm playing to just kill a unit or two here. I'm also thinking I can, drop, play Vayne instead with Slayer Jarvan, but I don't think it's better. I think generally you want to play around your strongest unit. My strongest unit right now is Seraphine. How do we make Seraphine stronger? Just Anima Squad and Techie. So we'll kind of fast forward through here. I did lose this fight to the other birthday present guy. Completely fair. I'm still making 20. And then here I just trying to play strongest board and make sure I make 30 here. Here I do actually play this Shyvana strictly for the fact that it's easier to make 30 and I can hold this Shyvana who is Techie Bastion, which would really help my mid game if I hit some upgraded frontline. Cool, so we'll just go ahead and kind of fast forward. I do lose to Prismatic Pipeline. He had a ton of upgrades, so like his money's pretty light. I mean, this is kind of a weird way to play Prismatic Pipeline. Usually you would just full sack and then like 3-2 kind of all in. So what? All good. He's kind of streaking the stage. You can see by his 94 HP, or rainbowing, excuse me, so not sure. Here again, the only decision point I do have this Varus pair, but it's very expensive to hold, and unless I 2-star it, I don't think it's going to kill more than Seraphine. I don't have an Executioner to play with it. So, yeah, we're kind of just chilling. And this is kind of a unique way to play Birthday Present, right? I got a 2-streak for gold, and then now I'm a 3-streak into neutrals, which is good, and I'm making these econ breakpoints. And when you do have a nice upgraded unit early with an item slam, it makes the early game pretty easy to play around from the standpoint of you kind of have direction. It's easier to make gold and sell units. This is kind of an interesting point as well. I make a mistake here. I probably should sell Skarner instead of that, but either way, my items are interesting. So I have Open Cloak on Silas, and I do have a Ginsu's if I do want to commit to playing around like Xayah Felios. I have Shojin Ginsu's. From there I could make like Even Shroud plus Adaptive. I mean, it's okay, but really like no sword, no crit. I mean, it really just looks like I'm slamming AP here and playing around that. I debated around it for a while. I am on a 3-streak, so I really don't get a huge benefit from slamming my items. I'm also kind of this like weak, weird board where I'm just trying to kill units. So I give it a turn to see what I get on 3-2. I think that's a general decent rule of thumb that you can make. We'll go ahead and skip through. I don't think these are super important fights. And here, Augments, Woodland Charm. I don't really have a great tank. I don't really have a great sense of direction of like who would be a good Woodland unit. So I'm just kind of re-rolling. Resolve is good if you're playing around like Hero Augment or maybe Executioners, but I'm not. I don't think this Augment can be very strong. Like I played it with Jack's Hero Augment and it's been very strong. But yeah, I'm just kind of re-rolling. I don't like Final Reserves. I'm playing Birthday Present. Like I don't want to be bottom of the lobby. So right here, I'm genuinely considering Wand Overflow. It gives me a lot of combat strength right now, but I think with, I'm in a decent econ spot. Tiny Tactician gives me 15 gold now and 1 per turn, and I'm going to be healing. So I think to hit my late game cap board, this is kind of where I make the decision based on my items. I'm just going to play around AP, and I think it was at this moment I knew, like, I'm going to play around Strat Amp. Because if I take Wander Overflow, I'm not really making the best anti-items. Doesn't really improve, like, a ton of my items now, because I'm going to be able to make Nashers right here, plus Spark. So yeah, that's what I do. I take Tiniest Titans, and we can see here I'm 76 gold. So I'm guaranteed leveling once, and then I'm checking how much it is to level. and I have good item slams. I can make, what, 30 here easily after leveling. So I'm just going to rip it. I'm just going to go 7 and try to turn this around from this spot and see what my birthday present are and play around it. I get Braum. That's great. I have Vanguard. I just play the 4th Vanguard. This is, I was a little slow just because of Augment and everything, but I think, you know, I could play maybe around this vein too, but again, I just have good slams right now, so. I do have this cloak on Silas that I wasn't able to remove in time, so I just make the spark on him and make the adaptive on Braum. And then I do actually move it over. This Sky's Mundo is an unkillable freak, so I'm not going to be able to kill him. I do lose this, which is fine, because I'm still 5 streak, but I have outs. My next shop, because I'm level 7, you get the benefit of seeing higher cost units. I do hit a Ziggs and a Yuumi. I did sell the Vayne, so I can't play 5 Anima here, but I just drop the Bastions, and then I just play around this Ziggs Yuumi, and now it's just a slam dunk strat amp game. Here I do move the items because I think I'm strong enough to start winning. I will commit the remover there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I do win this fight very easily. Carousel, I'm second out. I really want tier. Of course, I'm going to be denied. I just take Leona with armor. I think, you know, my backline items are good enough. Armor's good enough in AP with Crown Guard and things like, you know, a Sunfire. And it's just a Leona, right? It fits my board right now. So I get a big spike, and now I'm kind of transitioning into trying to play around strongest board and really start a streak. So here I'm really debating leveling. It is expensive, but it is the correct interval if I did want to level here. I believe I decide just to pump it. I see some other people going 7, and I really want to try to start building my streak here and turning this game around into this next neutrals. So I rip it. I get a Z2. Great. I don't have items, but I got a Slayer out there. This guy's going to put in crazy work on stage 3. You know, there's really no harm, no foul there. I can still make 20, which is, like, insane. Level 8 on 3-5, making 20, healing every turn, getting a gold. Like, this spot is pretty ridiculous. I already picked up the Ziggs and the Yuumi. I'm not entirely sure if items on Ziggs would ever be better. I'm not playing a techie for Seraphine, but I think my board is just my strongest board. Ziggs will put in work as a secondary, just as a 4 cost without items on stage 3. And yeah, you can see I'm just kind of blasting through the lobby. Okay, here in the shop, I don't really have upgrades. I don't really have anything I care to hold. So again, if I just win here, I make 30. I do swap Seraphine, so now I'm going to hit his left side, which is good eventually. But I am going to AoE down some of these weaker units. We see I did position Zed to go on this Jhin. If you have him one from the side, he just generally go on corner if they don't have another unit 2 off corner, I think. Just doing some scouting. I do win this. It's kind of close, but not really. And now I'm just making 30 in a neutral with a 3 streak. And boom, I just hit an Annie because I'm level 8. Here I just decide that I'm going to go ahead and sell Seraphine, move items to Annie, start playing around Annie. I do have Gold Nox with Jarvan linking. I do have, you know, some strategists and some amp already, so it's pretty good. What do I get from minions here? We'll see. Okay. Yeah, so this is weird. I'm going to be honest. This is where I kind of accept that right now my strongest unit is Zed. I have Spark, so whatever. I can play some weird flex board where Spark gets value, but Shojin's still good. I actually make, and I prioritize making Zed items here with the condition that these can always go on Samira. One potential mistake I make, I'm not sure if it's a mistake, but I'm thinking at this point, like, MF, right? I have a Shojin, I can slam IE Last Whisper. I'm just going to Reforge Nashers and start slamming my items on Zed. And and I do reforge a chain as well. And I just get blue buff. I get blue buff, and then I can just re-slam Nashers here. So, kind of a high roll. I'm not sure how I would have got blue buff anyway, but you'll see here the power of this board. I really don't even play around Annie. You know, she kind of holds items here and there, and then when I 2-star her, I move items back. But the beauty of this board truly is the core is extremely flexible. The core is very small. Really, the core is like Annie, Ziggs, Yumi, Nico, and then probably Echo, but he can even be dropped later. Okay, and then another decision point. I'm already level 8. I got a decent amount of gold. I'm sort of... I don't really have combat. I think taking combat here like is probably good on other sets. However, I'm really playing around birthday present, and the thing with these the hacks, a lot of the time you just have more resources. I already have so many resources, and I really want to double down on that and just fully play around birthday present. Which allows me here to just take malicious. I know a lot of high level players really don't take this augment much, but I think birthday present in a double econ is just so strong that it overvalues combat a lot of the time. Now, if I wasn't streaking or something, maybe it's different, but here I just slam level 9 and boom, 2-star Viego. Okay, high roll, sure. I think because I was recording, I high rolled. Otherwise this is like an Aurora 2 and like whatever. I'm a little sad, but it's still good. So again, I'm just trying to keep this streak and go from there. I'm kind of building out the strat amp board because that just makes sense now that I have 2-star Viego. Viego's going to hold my Braum items because 2-star 5 cost items are just more valuable on him. This fight's like kind of close, but Viego 2 on 4-2 is just too powerful. So I get a full malicious proc. I'm back up to 20. And because I'm level 9, good things happen. I just have a Samira and another Ziggs in my shop. Here I actually decided to sell the Zed. I don't have enough traits making him strong. I only have 2 Slayer. And these items can just go right on Samira. I put a Techie in for Viego so he gets the damage shred. I could have played Zach over over Jarvan. I wasn't sure here, and then I was late. I did want to keep Golden Ox, which is why I put Jarvan back in, but then I realized, I have Viego. Typically on stage 4, you don't really expect to have Viego too, so that is a big, blunder. But I'm too powerful, and I do get a full malicious. Okay, so I'm just 40 gold here. Carousel, I'm last pick.
That's a decent roll.
I'm talking to a friend here, so I'm skipping through some of that. Okay, now I identify, okay, this is just a better board. I'm not playing the Zed anymore for the Slayer. I don't need it. And I actually fight someone very strong here. And I'm trying to dodge this Zephyr. And I am fighting him. Zephyr's my Zac. I don't really care about that. I don't have blobs. It doesn't really matter. He doesn't have items. Just want to get Viego on the side and just kill as many units as possible for malicious. Annie and Viego are, targeting the same clumps. Good. Samira gets a cast off. Good. Zed's on backline. Bad. It is Zed 2, which is very strong. I just don't have enough to fully clean this board. It would have been great if I killed Morg here, but still some malicious value. So I got 2 full turns of value and half. So it's still pretty good. Now my only decision is, when do I go level 10? How much gold do I need to roll at 10? Do I ever roll at 9 to hit some of these pairs? And of course, I'm level 9, so good things keep happening. I just hit a Kaboku and a Garen. And this is kind of what I mean about this flex comp, right? Like, I don't have any Echo, and I don't have a Nico yet. But it doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter. You can play around these high-cost units so well that you can just fit whatever is strong, and I think that just makes birthday present just insane on this line. And I'm just clearing my bench to clear my mental stack a little bit. This guy has unkillable Kaboku, and he has a Samira on 8 and an Annie 2. He's 30 gold, so he's actually in a pretty good spot. Like, this guy's probably fighting me for first. I'm pretty sure I just can't get through this Kaboku. That's fine. All good. I too lost into neutrals, it's still valuable. And I'm in a better spot than this guy. I'm already 9. He's making 30. I'm making 50 at 9. True 74. And I'm just trying to gauge out, you know, when I want to level, how much money I want to have left based on my HP, etc. But one thing that I definitely still struggle with in TFT is understanding that sometimes greeting, like even though I have 60 HP, right? Like I could truly go 10 after carousel and try to play to win out. And that's probably the best in terms of hitting all my units. But you also, when you have a spot like this, you do also need to understand that consistently making myself stronger will also kill the lobby before they hit their late game boards, right? Like to some degree, you also have to play kind of like an enforcer. And yeah, I'm not really sure what to do with my items here. I actually make a mistake off carousel. I'm just thinking about, or off of anvil, I'm thinking about too many things. And I mean to take crit so I can just make a JG on Viego. And I accidentally take tier. So that was a blunder. I don't know if I was just looking at my components on the left. I mean, it happens. And I realized,
oh, I grabbed the wrong thing.
I realized, whoops, I grabbed a tier. All good. This guy's MF2, Kaboku 1, decently strong. He's that strat dynamo board. This MF is just doing lethal amounts of damage. But Viego's still healthy. This next cast is going to hurt. Still not through Kaboku. Viego did smurf and dodge that ult and from Kaboku, and that actually probably won the fight. Samir got another cast and dashed out of the MF ult. Pretty crazy. But that's how it goes. It's TFT. Alright, so here's a good interval to level. I got a ton of gold. Here, I'm not sure what to do. I just want to make Viego or Samira or Annie the strongest. Since I have a Viego item slam, I make the mod onto Viego, I believe, and just make a death cap. Here, I'm like not actually sure if I should make that or not. Okay, and then I find another strategist, so I play that. And then I found the techie for Viego, which also gives me Street Demon. My positioning's not great because I ran out of time. It's still early set, still learning a lot of things. But here, I just got two slams off this component, so I'm just going to make it and keep tempoing. Another MF2. I think MF was severely underplayed day one. I think she's actually really, really strong. The stats also agree with that, but she wasn't getting a ton of play rate. I think she was just overshadowed by Annie and like Xayah Felios. But I don't think marksmen have looked that great. I think the board just can't cap very high. There's not a lot of legendaries that fit other than being, you know, a legendary unit. One interesting thing about this set, like a heuristic I've kind of learned, which is good for me, is that the 5 costs are kind of good, and a lot of them are decently trade agnostic. They fit into some boards, like the hyper carry ones, like Samira and Viego. Obviously, you want Techie and Golden Ox, which is another reason this board is so strong. But because this comp has so many open slots, you can kind of just play around whatever. And just whatever you hit. Here I'm just 10. I'm just rolling to try to, you know, continue to be strong, hit some upgrades. I got a ton of pairs like Garen pair, Kaboku pair, Annie pair. Don't hit. I'm holding this extra Viego to try to deny the other amp guy, but then I decide that it's probably better if I hold this Nico pair. Here I do get Zephyr on my Samira because, again, I was spending too much time in the round just trying to work out what I was doing and how much to roll, what units to hold, but that's how it goes. Samira's going to get a cast off either way. It is 2-star Samira, 3 items, so like if she casts, it's in stage 5. Like that's just insane. So yeah, I'm level 10 on stage 5, and now it's, you know, I want to keep rolling to hit my pairs before any of these units are out of the pool, but, you know, you also are strong enough to econ, so it's kind of a fine balance. The later the game gets, you know, gold is less valuable than health, so, you know, making myself as strong as possible every turn is very important. Here there's a strat emblem, but the other strat guy is still alive, and he's out before me, so he does get it. What do I take? I take Edge of Night. Ideally for Renekton, but I can move it to Viego as well later if I can hit Kaboku 2 and get Kaboku items. Here, more upgrades, awesome. I'm not really sure who Renekton should eat. This is kind of a blunder. You should probably just eat Garen and call it a day. But yeah, we'll just keep moving through. Oh, one interesting thing to note, sorry. Because I'm stuck on Annie 1, I do move items to this Ziggs because I'm also on Kaboku 1, so the Ziggs getting the upgrade is fine. Ziggs will put in work. I kind of just need someone else putting out consistent damage from the back line to help my front line. It's kind of interesting, like most of the frontline units are really just legendaries, kind of like the frontline damage units. There's not really a ton else other than like, Rengar reroll or something. This is the other birthday present guy. He took, what is that, calculated enhancement and then port forward. Like, he doesn't have the econ to really contest me anymore. I got two free 2-star 5 costs, and I can just fit so many different units on this board. Like, even if I hit an Aurora, I'll drop something. Even if I hit, the Renekton, I'm just playing because it's a Renekton. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many ways that you can just make this board stronger. Here I take Golden Ox on Samira just to buff her damage amp. Awesome. Skip through. Fighting the other strat amp guy, he's on a lot of 1-stars, but he does have the strat emblem on Viego, and he does have an unkillable Kaboku with Declaw Spirit Visage, but my Samira is just too powerful. It's at this moment I realize to beat this guy consistently, I'm gonna have to find more sources of AD damage. My Samira items are good, GS to take him down, but I do realize here, playing around this Edge of Night, I also don't slam it because I don't want to have to double remove. Ideally, I'm going to move the Adaptive and Spark onto Kaboku 2 and keep Death Cap and figure out Viego items. But we'll see what I get from this Anvil. I think this is an important decision point. Oops. Okay. Like, I kind of have Viego items if I want to make Hodge, Decap, an Edge of Night, but again, because that guy is so tanky to magic damage, I'm like kind of thinking here, maybe I do take the Hodge and then play around this Renekton to give me a source of AD damage. That is what I do. I just have 6 Renektons now. So I'm also keeping that in the back of my mind as like a final out. And I do actually hit these Renekton items. The guy I'm playing for first with the other stat amp board does hit Kaboku too. I could potentially roll here. Kind of trying to hide this Renekton too. And here I just fight the MF guy. And I dodge the Zephyr. I do get shrouded pretty heavy, but it's not actually on my frontliners who are kind of going insane right now. And Samira, if she casts, she'll cast. And the front line can live long enough if they're casting. It's very close. That Shroud did make a huge difference, but Samira did get 2 casts off. It actually could have been Shroud diff if Samira got Shrouded, especially if she got Shrouded Zephyred, so I at least dodged that. I'm waiting to see if this guy goes out because he is playing Renekton. I want to have that backup out, with Renekton 3 if I really can't get through this guy's Kaboku. But now, I'm healthy. I also want to keep denying this other strat amp guy from hitting more upgrades, right? Those guys both have Kaboku too, so rolling is a little less efficient, but I do want Annie upgraded, and, there's some other stuff that would be valuable, more Renektons, things like that. Once I get Annie upgraded, I do move items to her. I think that's fine. Now I'm upgrading Kaboku, so he's at least stunning in, an extra radius. And I do fight this guy's Ghost, and he is playing Ascension Shogat, which is some good tech, but it's actually super close. But Giant Slayer, again, just putting in filthy work. My Renekton just on this Urgot, and yeah, Samira's second cast just clears board. This line is sometimes difficult to play around Samira items because if you're just playing like, the early like strat amp units like a Yuumi Echo and like Street Demon, like you don't really have an AD holder. I guess Rengar kind of fits in as an AD holder, but it's not as obvious. So having the birthday present Zed to just slam AD items on here really made a huge difference, because Samira is going to carry this late game. Here I'm just trying to deny all the units that this guy wants to hit, just to try to knock him out when I can. Also hitting a gold Nox proc since Viego and Annie are so strong on my board. Okay, I am fighting him here. Let's actually just take a second and look at his board. Okay. So he does have double combat. Blazing Soul Spirit Link, I believe that is. And he has good Annie items. He has a Samira 1, Viego 1. That's kind of my out here. He has Samira pair. We see it on bench. I'm really trying to deny him from hitting Viego Samira. That's like one way I can win this game. This Kaboku, again, is kind of unkillable. I realized, too, my Renekton getting killed early and targeted was a big blunder, because he's a big source of the damage that is going to kill this Kaboku, so that's an adjustment I make when I fight this guy later. Can't get through this guy's Kaboku, dude. Alright. Carousel, I'm just taking Sterex for Urgot. It's one of his best items, or not Urgot, sorry, Renekton. It's like best item on him, and I want him to be strong. You can see here he died super early, 1800 damage. That's a big blunder by me. Yeah, and here I just take another strat emblem, and I'm not entirely sure where to put it. I do decide, I think it goes on Viego or even Renekton. Yeah. Okay, so I'm really doubling down on this, like, hey, I need AD to kill this guy. I don't pick my positioning yet because I'm not fighting that guy. I'm a little too slow here. But I am fighting the Ascension Urgot player. Samira's alive, full HP, and he's alive, full HP. So yeah, that's a knockout, and we're 1v1. So again, here I'm holding this Renekton just to see if I can hit Renekton 3 as a final out. I'm healthy enough, and we're about to go to neutrals. I do put this Urgot 1 back. I do want Viego to cast early just to spread the shred and spread the damage reduction. But I do need Renekton alive. And this guy is still on Samira 1 and Viego 1. So holding these units, because my tempo is so good, is still very impactful. We see Renekton's full life still alive. Samira's full life still alive on the left side. As long as they're still up, this Kaboku will go down. You see how much damage Samira's doing. Renekton's not, a ton of damage. It's not AoE getting the numbers Samira is, but it's important damage. And that's a big thing to note. So here I'm also thinking, now that I have Kaboku 2, I do want to try to find a way to get these items, some items on Kaboku, because if my front line lives, I can get more Samira cast, which is also a way I can kill this Kaboku. And I think that is what happens here. Yep. So I take a Crown Guard for Kaboku, and I can give him Adaptive Spark, Crown Guard at 2-star. And good thing I say my removers, because now I can full remove and just really cap my board around what items I have. So now I have 3-item Viego, 3-item Kaboku frontline, and then I still have the Sterex on Urgot for that kind of late fight insurance. He does hit Viego 2. Rolling for Renektons in case I need to before he can potentially hold one. I don't actually know if that's correct. That's kind of a double up habit. You kind of have to all in before they have the spot, and usually after neutrals when you have the most influx of gold to like actually roll and try to hold something. But he was really focused on upgrading his board. Fair, and yeah, I take him down. It's easy first. So thanks guys. If you have any questions, drop them below. Bye.